In a quiet neighborhood, veiled in the stillness of midnight, Rowan sat curled in a well-worn armchair, cocooned in a heavy quilt. Moonlight pressed faintly against the frosted windows, pooling pale blue where it could slip past the curtains. The only sounds were the far-off whisper of wind and the old radiator's sigh. Rowan's small apartment, with its shelves of books and scattered mementos, was a haven of softened shadows. But tonight, sleep tiptoed far from Rowan's restless mind. As the clock glowed 12,017, a gentle glow appeared outside, a cobalt spark in a window across the street, flickering uncertainly. It was as if a lamp had kindled in an empty room, left undisturbed for years. Rowan leaned forward, heartbeat slow and curious. Who had lit the blue lamp? What story waited in the hush beyond the glass? Drawn by a gentle tug of wonder, Rowan rose and wrapped the quilt tighter, deciding to step softly into the blue-stained night. Rowan slipped quietly into the hallway, the thump of slippers muffled by threadbare carpet. Each step toward the front door felt like crossing from safe harbor into the gentle unknown. Outside, the street lay bathed in pools of blue and silver, streetlights blinking drowsily behind veils of winter mist. Swirls of paper and the faded hum of a distant taxi floated in the cold air. The world felt both vast and secret, as if the night itself drew long, slow breaths. Across the street, the house with the blue lamp looked abandoned, shutters drawn, ivy resting on crumbling bricks. Yet the blue light shimmered in one window, brightening and dimming like a beacon for wandering souls. Rowan hesitated on the curb, then crossed over, every footstep softened by the hush of deep midnight. Rowan paused before the gate, listening. Somewhere a cat meowed, impossibly distant, and a breeze sent the mailbox creaking. Up close, the house seemed softer than from afar, tired but not unfriendly. To Rowan's surprise, the front gate eased open with the nudge of a mittened hand, and the garden, overgrown with winter's neglect, glimmered with hidden dew. A marble frog toppled beside the path, watching the visitor with glass-bright eyes. Rowan stooped to right it, whispering, "Stay warm, little watcher." The air seemed to respond. The garden lights blinked awake one by one, guiding Rowan toward the porch in a trail of pale sapphire. Friendly silhouettes, a rabbit, a wheelbarrow, a faded hat, emerged in the quiet, bathed in shifting pools of blue. Reaching the porch, Rowan paused before the door. The glow from the blue lamp pulsed softly through the stained glass above the knob, painting fractured sapphires across Rowan's hand. Knuckles rapped gently. The knock was answered, not by anyone, but by the subtle click of the door easing open. Cool air wafted out, fragrant with dust and old wood, yet laced with something inexplicably sweet, like dried violets. Convinced it was invitation rather than warning, Rowan stepped inside. The entryway was cluttered with the soft debris of memory, stacks of yellowed letters, a pile of patchwork cushions, an umbrella with a twisted handle. The faint susurrus of wind played through corridors lined with sepia photographs. No footsteps, no whisper of another presence, just the subtle hum of the blue lamp upstairs, calling onward. Rowan tiptoed up the curved staircase, the wooden steps sighing under each careful weight. Shades of blue, indigo, cerulean, midnight drifted along the wallpaper, and the house seemed to exhale with Rowan's every breath. Along the upper hall, doors slept half open, each room telling a tranquil story, a sewing nook tangled with moonlit thread, a study filled with upright dominoes and scattered postcards. At the end, a cat cat with starlit fur blinked slowly from a window ledge and then leapt with liquid grace into the shadows. Rowan followed the subtle hum and entered the room where the blue lamp awaited, shining on a table beside a circle of untouched dust. The air shimmered, and for a moment Rowan saw it was not a lamp at all, but a glass sphere. Inside, a tiny world swirled, clouds, waves, and specks dancing like fireflies. Rowan knelt beside the swirling glass, marveling at the miniature world within. The blue light inside the sphere ebbed and flowed like tides beneath a secret moon. Rowan reached out, but instead of cold glass, their fingertips met a gentle vibration, as if the orb breathed. The hush of the house enveloped Rowan. Then, from the shadows, a voice as soft as velvet spoke. "Please, could you place me by the window? I have watched the world for so long from this corner, but I long to see the street once again." Rowan, surprised but soothed by the kindness in the voice, cradled the lamp with care and carried it gently to the long-neglected window. The moment the sphere reached the sill, the blue glow brightened, seeping through frost and casting new radiance onto the sleepy street below. As the street filled with gentle, rippling blue light, the quiet spilled outward in waves. Rowan lingered at the window, sensing old memories drifting through the air. Childhood laughter, the scent of rain on pavement, far-off music carried by a summer wind. The sphere pulsed warmly, as if grateful for its new view. Suddenly, a procession of delicate footsteps whispered down the hallway. Out of the shimmer emerged 3 small forms: a woman in a faded bathrobe, an elderly gentleman with a cane, and a small child holding a patchwork bear. Though mere echoes of the past, each seemed solid and kind, nodding warmly to Rowan. They did not speak, but together they gathered around, hands linked, basking in the fresh light. Rowan smiled, feeling the weight of loneliness lift. Everyone belonged for this one quiet spell in the blue lamp's gentle world. Rowan spent what felt like hours among the gentle ghosts and the dreaming light, trading wordless comfort beneath the lamps. Hush. They watched together as the blue glow spilled quietly onto rooftops and empty cars, melting into the mist. When dawn crept nearer, heralded by a faint smudge of gold above the houses, the child released Rowan's hand, smiling a secret smile. The woman nodded, lips curved in thanks, and the old man tipped his hat before they joined the fading shadows, dissolving into the coming morning. The blue lamp's light softened, settling to a tranquil thrum. Rowan realized with a contented weight in the chest they had helped a little magic find its way home again and, in doing so, had soothed their own heart as well. Rowan left the house quietly, closing the door so that the blue light lingered just behind the glass, a watchful promise. The street was still empty, but no longer lonely. The world held an extra warmth, a memory of gentle company and softly restored wonder. Breathing in the cool air, Rowan wrapped the quilt around and returned across the quiet road. As morning crept into the sky, the blue lamp's glow seemed to whisper through every window, a gentle benediction for dreamers and wanderers alike. Rowan slipped back into their own living room, the hush of night still brushing the air, and settled once more into their old armchair. This time, sleep arrived easily, cradling Rowan in dreams, and the blue lamp kept gentle vigil from across the way.